A honey badger does not feel fear the way you or I do. It is not a metaphor for bravery, and it is not an exaggeration. Deep inside its brain, the biological mechanism for panic simply does not exist. And what replaces it is something that continues to baffle evolutionary biologists today. To understand this strange phenomenon, we must look closely at how fear works. When a normal animal sees a massive predator, an alarm sounds instantly. The amygdala floods the bloodstream with powerful stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This chemical cocktail forces a rapid involuntary choice between fighting and fleeing immediately. Most creatures prioritize survival through rapid escape whenever the odds are terrible. But the honey badger's brain processes danger entirely differently than almost any mammal. When confronted by a lion, the badger's amygdala absolutely registers the intense threat. It sees the size difference, the sharp teeth, and the overwhelming physical power. But instead of triggering a frantic escape response, the brain does something shocking. It deliberately suppresses the urge to run and converts fear directly into aggression. This is not reckless stupidity, it is a highly evolved, calculated survival strategy. Stop. What you just heard goes against everything we understand about prey animals. Why would evolution reward an animal that violently attacks things 5 times larger? The answer lies millions of years ago in the harshest environments of Africa. Honey badgers evolved alongside the most lethal predators this planet has ever seen. They are relatively slow runners, possessing short, sturdy legs built exclusively for digging. Running away from a cheetah or a hungry lion was never a viable option. If they turned their backs to flee, they would be immediately chased down. So nature equipped them with the ultimate psychological weapon, an unbreakable offensive mindset. Their brain chemistry literally rewards them for stepping forward instead of stepping back. When they attack, their nervous system floods with a powerful rush of dopamine. This neurotransmitter creates an intense feeling of focus and absolute physical confidence. The angrier they get, the less physical pain and exhaustion they actually feel. But this unique neurochemistry comes with a very dangerous, incredibly reckless side effect. A honey badger genuinely struggles to recognize when it is completely outmatched. Researchers have watched them casually approach highly venomous puff adders without hesitation. They will confidently charge into a pride of feeding lions just to steal scraps. To an outside observer, this behavior looks exactly like pure, unadulterated psychopathy. The badger seems completely disconnected from the brutal reality of its own mortality. Now see it from where the apex predators are standing on the savanna. A young leopard spots the small, low-slung creature wandering alone through the grass. Instinct tells the big cat that this is an easy, slow-moving target. The leopard strikes, expecting the usual frantic struggle and quick, decisive victory. Instead, the prey instantly turns into a furious spinning ball of sharp claws. The badger unleashes a terrifying, deafening scream that rattles the predator's sensitive ears. It bites aggressively at the leopard's face, completely ignoring the massive size difference. The big cat's brain is suddenly thrown into a state of absolute confusion. Predators are hardwired to chase fleeing animals, not defend against tiny, ferocious attackers. The leopard's own survival instincts kick in, warning it to avoid unnecessary injury. A simple scratch from a badger claw can easily become a fatal infection. The giant cat backs away slowly, completely unnerved by the sheer psychotic intensity. The honey badger has successfully weaponized crazy to manipulate the psychology of predators. But aggression alone is not enough to survive such incredibly dangerous, high-stakes encounters. The badger's brain must also manage the extreme physical trauma of these fights. This is where their neurochemistry performs its most astonishing, completely unbelievable trick. Their bodies produce unique endorphins that act as incredibly powerful, natural painkillers. During a violent struggle, a badger can sustain bites that would cripple others. Yet it continues fighting relentlessly, seemingly oblivious to the massive tissue damage. This pain suppression allows them to outlast predators in a test of pure endurance. The predator eventually gives up, exhausted and frustrated by the unyielding, bloody resistance. Only when the threat is completely gone does the badger's adrenaline finally drop. The pain signals slowly return, forcing the animal to retreat and lick its wounds. This combination of fearlessness and pain tolerance is unmatched in the animal kingdom. But there is a third, hidden layer to the honey badger's complex brain. They are not just angry brawlers, they are highly intelligent, calculated problem solvers. Their cerebral cortex is surprisingly dense, packed with incredibly intricate neural networks. This advanced brain structure grants them an astonishing level of spatial memory. A badger can remember the exact location of a beehive for several months. They memorize the hidden hunting trails of larger predators to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Their fearlessness is reserved exclusively for moments when escape is absolutely impossible. When unthreatened, they are remarkably cautious, constantly observing and analyzing their surroundings. This dual nature makes them incredibly unpredictable to both predators and human researchers. One minute they are playfully chasing beetles in the soft morning dust. The next minute, they are fighting 3 hyenas over a rotting antelope carcass. This extreme behavioral whiplash requires an incredibly adaptable, highly responsive nervous system. Their brains can switch from calm foraging to absolute murderous rage instantly. Most animals require several minutes to fully ramp up their physiological fight response. The honey badger can go from 0 to maximum aggression in 1 second. This rapid chemical transition is the true secret behind their legendary, terrifying reputation. The rest of the savannah has simply learned to respect this chaotic energy. Even massive bull elephants will slightly alter their path to avoid a badger. They recognize the distinct black and white stripes as a universal warning sign. In nature, vibrant contrasting colors usually mean an animal is highly venomous. The honey badger is not venomous, but its pure aggression is equally dangerous. Their coloration tells the world, "I see you, and I am not running." It is a bold, arrogant statement backed up by millions of years of survival. This psychological dominance allows them to roam freely across incredibly dangerous territories. They wander alone through the darkness, completely unbothered by the glowing predatory eyes. While other small mammals hide in fear, the badger claims the night openly. Their fearless brains allow them to exploit food sources that others simply abandon. If a lion kill is left unguarded, the badger will confidently claim it. They rely on their terrifying reputation to keep scavengers at a safe distance. It is a massive evolutionary bluff, and it works flawlessly almost every time. But what happens when the bluff fails, and a predator calls their bluff? That is when the psychopath takes over, and the biology of aggression begins. The badger commits to the fight with a level of absolute, terrifying finality. They fight as if they have absolutely nothing to lose in the world. Because in their unique, chemically altered minds, losing simply is not an option. Their brain simply refuses to process the concept of surrender or ultimate defeat. This is not bravery as we humans understand it in our own lives. Bravery is feeling fear and choosing to step forward despite the overwhelming terror. The honey badger steps forward because its brain does not understand the terror. They are biological machines perfectly optimized for offensive survival in hostile environments. We look at them and project our own complex human emotions onto them. We call them fearless, psychotic, angry, or incredibly brave little warriors. But the badger is simply following the precise chemical instructions in its head. These instructions have kept their species alive against impossible odds for millennia. Their unique neurochemistry proves that sometimes, the best defense is absolute madness. In a world ruled by massive teeth and crushing weight, attitude matters immensely. The honey badger survived evolution by simply refusing to play the victim role. They forced the apex predators to adapt to them, instead of the reverse. The savanna ecosystem is permanently shaped by the presence of this unyielding creature. Every predator knows the golden rule: never corner the animal with nothing to lose. The next time you hear a story about the legendary, fearless honey badger, remember that you are not looking at a creature possessed by pure rage. You are looking at an evolutionary masterpiece of highly specialized, unique brain chemistry. What surprised you most about this bizarre neurochemical weapon?
Tell us below.
We call them fearless, but the truth is far more complex than that. Because a honey badger does not feel fear the way you or I do.